Here's the truth. Attraction has nothing to do with being nice, rich, or polished. It lives in the primitive brain, the part that decides instantly if you're a man she must chase or a man she forgets. Machiavelli revealed this centuries ago. People move for power, fear, and desire, not for morality. That's why women ignore the safe man, but crave the one who feels like danger wrapped in control. In this video, you'll learn the 6 pillars of the dirty method. Simple, precise shifts that make her restless when you're gone, addicted when you're near, and unable to replace you. These aren't tricks. They're strategies that rewire how women respond to you on a primal level. Stay until the end, because once you master them, you'll never chase again. You'll become the gravity she cannot escape. The first pillar is movement. Movement means you disrupt her rhythm, her mental autopilot, her emotional sleep. Understand this. Modern women are surrounded by men. Men in her DMs, men at her job, men who orbit her on social media. 99% of them blend into the same predictable background. They text the same lines, smile the same way, follow the same script, and her brain filters them out like static. The reptilian brain is programmed to notice what's different, what cuts the pattern, what feels like danger. And that's exactly what you must become, the disruption. Not through words, but through energy, through the way you step into space, through the way you don't move like the others. Imagine a room full of men vying for her attention. Most hover, laugh too loudly, tilt toward her with eager eyes. And then there's you. Still, calm, unhurried. Your body doesn't bend toward her. It makes her bend toward you. Your gaze isn't frantic. It lingers with weight. Your silence isn't awkward. It's loaded. That's movement. The disruption of the expected. Machiavelli would have told you, the prince who repeats the patterns of others is ruled by them. The prince who disrupts becomes feared and desired. Here's why it works. Her nervous system is constantly scanning. Predictable equals safety. Unpredictable equals excitement. Safety soothes, but excitement seduces. When your presence breaks her mental script, adrenaline spikes. Her pulse quickens. Curiosity surges. The reptilian brain whispers, "This man is not like the others. Pay attention." How do you apply this? When you walk into a room, don't rush to fill the air. Let your stillness bend the energy. When you approach, don't use stock lines. Say something that cuts the moment sideways, not for humor, for disruption. When you lock eyes, don't dart away. Don't overplay it. Hold it until she looks away first. Then shift your gaze like you already expected her to. This isn't performance. It's biology. Movement is what makes her primitive brain file you under threat. But the kind of threat that excites, not harms. And that's the foundation of desire. The second pillar is attitude. And here's the truth. Women don't fall for words. They fall for gravity. Every woman will test you. It's not malicious. It's instinct. She pushes, teases, withdraws, not because she hates you, but because she needs to know. Can this man lead when things get unstable? Can he remain centered when I throw chaos at him? Most men fail. They defend themselves. They explain too much. They laugh nervously. They adjust their behavior to win approval. In that moment, she feels it. Weakness. But the dangerous man, he doesn't defend. He doesn't explain. He doesn't even flinch. He lets her energy crash against his, and it breaks like waves against stone. Think of how animals sense hierarchy without words. Wolves don't negotiate leadership. They radiate it, and everyone feels it. Women are no different. They don't just hear your words, they feel your energy. They read the frame you carry before you even open your mouth. Machiavelli would have advised you, never explain your authority. Sit on the throne and the throne explains for you. That's what attitude is, the invisible crown on your head. Here's how you embody it. Your body is still, not fidgeting. Your voice is slower than hers, not rushed. Your gaze is direct but relaxed, not needy. Your reactions are minimal, because only small men overreact. When she mocks you, when she tests you, when she tries to provoke you, don't fight the frame. Rewrite it with calm redirection. If she accuses, you smirk. If she teases, you tilt your head with curiosity. If she withdraws, you stay steady. The primitive brain sees calm under pressure as dominance. And dominance is the oldest, deepest trigger of desire. The third pillar is neglect. And here's the truth. Desire doesn't grow when you give more. It grows when you give less. Modern men destroy attraction because they confuse attention with seduction. They believe that the more they give, the more she will want them. But biology doesn't work that way. The primitive brain values what is scarce and ignores what is abundant. Think back to the earliest tribes. What was abundant was ignored. What was scarce was worshipped. Fire, food, shelter, safety. Scarcity defined value. And today, the same logic applies to you. Every man floods her with attention. Messages, likes, quick replies. And every man becomes invisible. But the man who withholds, who steps back at the peak, who lets silence hang heavy, he becomes unforgettable. This is the art of neglect. Not cruelty, not rejection, but the elegant discipline of absence. Machiavelli would have warned you, the absent are always spoken of more than the present. Here's why it works. When the conversation is at its highest point, when laughter flows, when her body is engaged, that is not the time to linger. That's the time to exit. Leave her unfinished. Leave her restless. Leave her craving resolution. Her primitive brain releases dopamine when she feels pleasure in your presence. But if you vanish at the height of that dopamine spike, her brain becomes addicted. She replays your last words. She rereads your last message. She feels the absence like a hunger. Think of a show that ends every episode on a cliffhanger. You can't stop watching. Not because the episode was complete, but because it wasn't. That's how you must become in her life. The cliffhanger she can't stop replaying. Here's how to apply it. Don't reply instantly every time. Let her feel the gap. When energy is high, leave first. Don't drag it until it dies. Cut calls short before she's ready. Walk away in person when the vibe is still burning. This is neglect used as strategy, and the effect is primal. Her brain hates open loops. It will chase closure, and you will become the closure she cannot stop craving. But here's the key. Neglect without purpose is just absence. Neglect with timing is power. You must withdraw when she least expects it, when she is most engaged. That's what turns interest into obsession. Because what she cannot fully have, she cannot fully forget. The fourth pillar is boldness. And this is where most men fail. They build attraction, they create tension, but they collapse at the moment of escalation. Fear takes over. Fear of rejection. Fear of ruining everything. Fear of being seen as too much. And so they freeze. They hesitate. They wait for permission. And in that hesitation, desire dies. But women are not waiting for hesitation. They are waiting for boldness. For a man who cuts through the fog of uncertainty and moves with decisive clarity. Machiavelli would have reminded you, fortune favors the bold because she is a woman and she yields to strength. Her primitive brain is wired to respond to leadership, to decisive action, to the strike of a man who knows what he wants. This is not aggression. This is clarity. This is instinct meeting instinct. Think of the moments where desire peaks, when your eyes lock a second too long, when silence thickens between you, when her body leans close without words. Most men kill that moment by overthinking. But the dangerous man, he doesn't wait. He advances. He touches her hand with intent. He pulls her closer in silence. He closes the gap when the air itself begs for release. And here's the paradox. Women will never tell you this. They will speak of respect, patience, gentleness, and those are real. But beneath them, in the primitive layers of their biology, they crave the man who moves without hesitation, the man who doesn't ask, "Can I?" but reads the moment and acts. This is boldness, calibrated risk. You don't push when her body resists. You don't rush when the energy isn't there. But when the door opens, you step through it, without fear, without apology. And that single act separates you from the countless men she forgets. Because desire isn't born from safety alone. It's born from danger under control. Here's how to embody boldness. Stop overthinking the outcome. The reptilian brain doesn't care about outcomes. It cares about signals. When you feel tension in her eyes, don't talk it away. Escalate it. Train yourself to move first when the moment is ready, not after. Because boldness is not about words. It's about the courage to strike while the iron is burning. And the man who strikes becomes the man she cannot erase from memory. The fifth pillar is magnetic touch. And here's the truth. Words can lie, presence can be faked, but touch never deceives. Long before language existed, humans communicated through skin. A hand on the arm, a grip that said dominance, a caress that promised safety. The body remembers what the mind forgets, and every woman is wired to respond to the right touch at the right moment. But here's where most men fail. They touch too soon, too much, or without rhythm. Their touch feels needy, desperate, rushed, and her body rejects it. Attraction dies, not because touch is wrong, but because timing is everything. Machiavelli would have advised you, the subtle weapon must be sharper than the obvious one. Touch is that subtle weapon. When done with mastery, it bypasses her logic and speaks directly to her reptilian brain. So how do you master it? By understanding this, touch is not about pressure, but about contrast. It is not about holding, but about releasing. It's not about the touch itself. It's about the silence after it. Here's how to do it. Begin with innocence. A light brush of her arm during laughter, guiding her gently through a doorway. A playful tap that lingers just slightly longer than it should. Small, casual, but with presence. Then withdraw. Let absence carve the craving. Her body starts to miss the contact before she consciously realizes it. Escalate in rhythm. Near, gone. Contact, silence. Safe, dangerous. You are not just touching her body, you are programming her nervous system to respond to your presence like a drug. And here's the primal truth. Oxytocin and dopamine flood her system when the right man touches her. You're not bonding. You're branding yourself into her biology. Long after she forgets your words, her body will remember the way you made her feel. This is magnetic touch, not invasive, not desperate, but deliberate. The touch that listens with the skin, that observes her response, that commands without force. It is the ritual of attraction. And once you master it, you'll understand why most men are erased from memory, but you remain. The sixth pillar is cold reading, and here's the truth. Women crave being seen, not for the mask they wear, but for the truths they hide. Every woman is a fortress of subtle signs. The way she dresses, the rhythm of her voice, the pauses in her laughter, the subjects she avoids, all of these are signals. Most men are blind to them, but the dangerous man sees what others miss. He becomes the mirror she didn't know she needed. Machiavelli would have told you, to rule men, read their fears. To rule women, read their hidden hunger. Here's how this works. When you point out something about her that she didn't verbalize, you cut through the layers of performance. She might laugh too loudly when nervous. You notice it. She might wear bold jewelry to cover insecurity. You name it gently. She might speak with speed, revealing emotion she pretends not to feel. You reflect it back with calm precision. Suddenly, she feels naked, not physically, but emotionally, seen in a way most men could never reach. And that sensation is terrifying, but irresistible. Because the primal brain craves exposure. It wants someone strong enough to see the truth without judgment. But here's the discipline. You must never weaponize it. If you expose her too brutally, she'll shut down. If you do it with calm curiosity, she'll open more. From now on, observe more than you speak. Notice patterns in her energy, not just her words. Reflect gently. Say what you see without agenda. You laugh when you're uncomfortable. You seem calmer when you slow down. Leave space. Once you reveal a truth, let silence do the work. She will fill it with vulnerability. And here's the primal effect. When a woman feels seen at her core, she bonds. Not because you forced her, but because you reached into the hidden chambers of her identity. She realizes she cannot hide from you, and that realization makes her addicted. Cold reading is not performance. It's presence sharpened into precision. And once you master it, women stop playing games with you. They drop the mask. They reveal the raw feminine essence they guard from everyone else. And that revelation is what makes them crave you beyond reason. You are no longer the man you once were. The moment you begin to apply what you've learned, you step into a different league. A man who doesn't wait to be chosen, but who shapes the game itself. This is the turning point. The line between who you were and who you are now becoming. You now know what truly fuels desire. Tension that sparks fire. Absence that creates value. And control that makes you impossible to forget. This isn't about tricks. It's about discipline. It's about carrying yourself in a way that no woman can ignore. Because your energy is sharper, calmer, stronger than anything she's used to. From here on, you don't beg for attention. You command it. You don't hope to be wanted. You become the man she fights to keep. And the deeper truth is this. Once you can control the game of desire, you can control any game. If you can shape her emotions, you can shape your career, your friendships, your entire life. Because the skills are the same. Presence, patience, power. This is your new identity, unshakable, unstoppable. A man who doesn't wait for permission, but creates his own gravity. Now take it with you and understand. The man you were is gone. The man you've become can do anything. If this opened your eyes and you're serious about becoming the man who's in full control of his life, my book is now available. The Undeniable Man, Built to be Chosen. It's a strategic guide for men who want to attract, lead, and dominate in their love life and beyond. Whether you're single or in a relationship, no fluff, no tricks, just pure, powerful strategy that will set you apart from 99% of men, and that you will actually use every day. The link is in the description. And if this video spoke to you, don't just keep your thoughts in your head. Write a comment, even just a few words. It helps you remember these lessons, and it might help someone else too. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this content, and share it with someone who, in your eyes, needs it right now. Just trust your instinct. We're all trying to get clearer, more solid inside. So let's build minds that don't break.